Act 2 of Hamlet, Scene 1, and Polonius and his man Reynaldo. I will skip over the beginning of that and pick it up when Ophelia enters on stage, line 70 or thereabouts. Here she goes. How now, Ophelia, what's the matter? That's where it is, right? Oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted. With what in the name of God? My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, so he's got a vest that's unbuttoned, as if he's out of control, as if he's mad. No hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, down drive to his ankles, so he's not properly dressed even. Pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he'd been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me. Mad for thy love? My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it. What said he? He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then he goes to the length of all this arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as I would draw it. As if he's going to draw my face, he's looking so carefully at it. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it had seemed to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me. So he leaves the room looking like this, going out there, not even looking, can't get his eyes. Come, go with me, I will go see the king. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself, and leads the will to desperate undertaking, as oft as any passions under heaven that does afflict our natures. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late? No, my lord. But as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me. That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him or coated him. I fear he did but trifle and meant to rack thee, but beshow my jealousy. By heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions, as it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, which being kept close, might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Come, and out they go. And now they do come in. So now the entrance of the infamous minor characters, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Have you seen the play Tom Stoppard's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead? Okay, well, it's worth seeing. It's on these two minor characters, but it's Guildenstern Are Dead. I don't need to write this down, but now that I've started it, Guildenstern. Watch out for it. It's interesting enough if you've read Hamlet. It's an off-take on it, and the two characters who are not particularly significant in Shakespeare's play, but they're not without significance either. They are Hamlet's friends from university as well, and the king is using them with their willing assent, and he's paying them for this to betray their friend. How complicit they are is a little unclear. It's not outright betrayal, but they're paying him, and of course they want preferment in the court. That's part of their, in the kingdoms of old, the courtiers do well by doing the king's bidding, but this means betraying their friend. Is it clear that they're betraying him, or are they doing something that is just being helpful? And I think at first they think they're being helpful, but they're duped in all this. Anyway, not very bright characters, but they think that they're bright. Anyway, King and Queen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, among others. Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have to use, you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? So call it. Sith not the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What it should be, more than his dear father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being of so young days brought up with him, and sith so neighbor to his youth and behavior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies, to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy. So be a spy for me. Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am, two men there is not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while, for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance. Very pleased, the two of them. Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty. But we both obey, and here give us ourselves in the full bent, to lay our service freely at your feet, to be commanded. Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern. Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I do beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is. So out they go. Now Polonius comes in, and he acquaints him with the fact that ambassadors from Norway have come. Thou hast still been the father of good news. Have I, my lord? So the matter of Norway has not left us yet. Assure my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy. Oh, speak of that. That do I long to hear. Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit to that great feast. Thyself do grace to them, and bring them in. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper. I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death, and our for hasty marriage. Anyway, the counselors come in, and what they find is not altogether wonderful news. What say you? Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Polack. So he thought that he was staging an assault on Poland, not against Denmark, or so he said. But better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness, whereat grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sent out arrests on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle never more to give the assay of arms against your majesty. Whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ those soldiers so levied as before against the Polack, with an entreaty herein further shown. Show it as a paper that it may please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise. So you just need to give he needs to land in Denmark and then he'll go through. Now, is Fortinbras going to go carry on with his arms on to Poland, or is he, once he's here, going to go on? We know what the answer is. Do you like this? Oh, it likes us well. So this is fine. And the ambassadors go out. So all is well. There you go. Does Fortinbras intend on doing what he said he was going to do? Absolutely not. But these two old fools think that he is. And now Polonius reveals the matter of what ails Hamlet. And he recounts what happened. And the queen asks him to do a little less artfully. In other words, don't be so long-winded. Get straight to the matter. No, more matter with less art, she says in 95. Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he's mad, 'tis true, 'tis true, 'tis pity. And pity 'tis true, a foolish figure. But farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus. Perpend. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, because they've all got bored with his speech already, just like everybody. Polonius talks, and would he get to the point? He never gets to the point. Mark hath given me this. Now gather and surmise, reads the salutation of the letter. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these, etc. Came this from Hamlet to her? Madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Keeps reading. Stop interrupting me. I'm talking. Doubt thou the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun shall move. Doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, oh, most best, believe it, adieu. Thine evermore most dear lady, while this machine is to him, Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above hath his solicitings, as they fell out by time, by means and place, all given to mine ear. But how hath she received his love? What do you think of me? As of a man faithful and honorable, I would fain prove so. But what might you think when I had seen this hot love on the wing? As I perceived it, I must tell you that, before my daughter told me, what might you of my dear majesty your queen here think if I'd played the desk or table book, or given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. And then I precepts scripts gave her, and that she must lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repelled a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence into a watch, thence into a weakness, thence into a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves, and all we mourn for. Do you think 'tis this? It may be, says the queen, very like. Hath there been such a time, I would fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise? Not that I know. Points to his head and shoulder. Take this from this, if this be otherwise. Cut off my head. It's because he's in love with my daughter. That's why he's mad. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center. How may we try it further? You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby. So he does indeed, says the queen. At such time I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras then. Mark the encounter, if he love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and carters. We will try it. Now I'll leave it off there. But Polonius is absolutely dead certain, you can dismiss me as your assistant, you can cut off my head. It's because he's fallen in love with my daughter. She's rejected him. He's gone mad. That's the reason. Absolutely 100% certain, no doubt about it. We know that Polonius is a fool and has no idea what's going on. But we will see that. We'll pick it up next time when Hamlet comes in and we observe him speak to Polonius, and then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and so forth, and the whole thing ensues.